It's not very often that you hear of someone leaving their native nation to move to France in order to purchase a castle from the Middle Ages. Despite this, London native Stephanie Jarvis accomplished exactly this when she was only 29 years old. She uprooted her life and moved to the Chateau Diaries in France after retiring there. In this video, we will go into several fascinating elements of Stephanie Jarvis's life, such as her family, her love life, and a lot more. But before we get started with the content for today, make sure you have subscribed to the channel and that the bell symbol is turned on so that you receive timely updates. You won't miss out on any of our newest videos if you subscribe this way. Let's get started on this amazing adventure, shall we? Isabelle Jarvis, Stephanie's mother, was born in France and is completely bilingual in that country's language as well as in the United States. Both of her parents worked as mental health nurses and made their home in Suffolk. It's interesting to note that Isabelle currently calls South Africa home. South Africa held a special place in the heart of Stephanie's father, who traveled there frequently to get away from the bitter winters in England. They own a large beach house in the countryside of South Africa, and it is there that they save some of the wonderful artwork that Stephanie's father created. He was a talented painter who particularly enjoyed doing it after returning from African safaris, during which he would draw ideas from the various creatures he had seen. Not only did the fact that Stephanie Jarvis has French ancestry play a significant role in her decision to buy the Chateau Diaries, but it was also one of the primary motivating factors. Her love of France and the French way of life undoubtedly played a large part in her decision to purchase a castle in the rural countryside of France. Nevertheless, her tiredness and dissatisfaction with the frenetic pace of London were significant factors in her decision. She was just 29 years old when she made the courageous decision to sell the apartment she was living in London that had 2 bedrooms in order to purchase a castle in France. She worked on the renovation of the chateau for 10 years, turning it into a bed and breakfast in the process. In spite of the great amount of effort that had been put into it, the chateau had not been producing income for the majority of that time, and the COVID-19 pandemic halted the little progress that they had accomplished. This defeat motivated Stephanie to launch her own YouTube channel, where she gives a glimpse into the life of a castle dweller to her fans from all over the world. In addition to this, Stephanie had a large group of people who volunteered their time to assist her in the restoration of the chateau, which brought new life to the old castle. The volunteers come from a wide variety of backgrounds and nations, which contributes to the richness and vitality of the chateau's community. Performing renovations on the chateau was not a simple task. It took Stephanie and her team a number of years and a tremendous amount of effort to bring it back to its previous splendor. The previously lifeless and dismal courtyard is now alive with life and prospering thanks to the addition of trees, flower beds, and a fountain that her father purchased from an English auction. In terms of Stephanie's romantic life, she is currently dating a Dutchman named Philip Johnson, who is 25 years old. They have been together for a while now. During Philip's time spent helping at the chateau, the two found each other and eventually fell in love. The couple is going strong and helping each other along the path that they have chosen to take together. After all is said and done, Stephanie Jarvis has been a co-owner of the Chateau Diaries for more than a decade. Her journey has not been an easy one. Nevertheless, the results of her hard work and persistence are now beginning to show. She is really appreciative of all the support she has received from her friends, her family, and the more than 200,000 people who subscribe to her channel on YouTube. We appreciate your participation in the video we have today. We sincerely hope that you find it both informative and enjoyable. In the box below designated for comments, I would appreciate it if you could give your thoughts on Stephanie Jarvis and her YouTube channel. We'll catch up with you in the next video, so stay tuned.